Hello, thank you so much for spending your time with us today and joining us for a recruiter's perspective on the renewables industry. As you're joining us, you're going to notice a poll pop up because we want to know about you. Are you a candidate looking for a job? Are you a client looking to hire? Maybe you're just curious about the conversation, or there's another reason you're joining us today. Whatever that reason is, let us know. And I want you to know that we're so glad you're here. My name is Leanne. I'm the Director of Community Engagement, and I'm excited to talk today with Lisa and Daniel. So, Lisa, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about you.
Sure. Hi, my name is Lisa Wicks, and I'm one of the managers here at Core Group Resources, focused in the renewable energy space. I've been with Core Group going on about a year now, and my background is approximately 10 years in the oil and gas industry prior to coming to Core Group. So I'm glad to be here today.
We're so glad you're here. It's been really exciting to see the renewables team that's grown up around you as you've been here and all of the order and structure you have brought to that division.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Daniel, what about you? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so Daniel Rieke. I am the renewables team lead, and I've been for a little under a year. And before that, I spent about a decade in the nonprofit sector. So I'm very passionate about people, and especially love getting to help people better their lives through career transitions. So I'm excited about this topic today.
Yeah, our mission statement is connecting people to destiny. It's all about the people here. Mm-hmm. It's not about the people. We're not doing our jobs. Sure. So speaking of people and jobs, what are we seeing in the renewable space as we move into Q1 of 2023?
Well, in 2022, we were still coming off of, what I call a COVID disruption. There were still some supply chain issues, high prices. But during that time, there was legislation being put in place, focused in the renewable energy space for projects for coming years and funds allocated for those projects. So now in 2023, we're starting to see those projects come to fruition. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. And one exciting thing that I see, there's really a commitment to the renewable energy industry. You see all the big major oil and gas companies who go to their websites now, and their website, their actual homepage is what their transition into renewable or reducing their carbon footprint. They have a transition plan in place, so they've made a commitment to that. So we're seeing that with large companies like that, a lot of small startup companies. Someone will have a product or an idea that solves a problem, and we get to work with those startup companies. So that's exciting. Plus, companies that have been around for 100 years that are now starting a new renewable energy division. So it's fun to get to work with all these different companies and see all the ingenuity that's out there.
Yeah, you're kind of on the frontier of what's happening. Yeah. Daniel, what's exciting you about the space right now?
That's a good question. I would say there's one company I'm working with right now that I think their technology is really cool. They take ocean waves and turn it into clean energy.
Okay, this is fascinating. I've never heard of this. Tell me more.
So they put these buoys out in remote spaces of the ocean, and they, through the energy that the waves create, they create clean energy. And so they'll use it to power stuff like Wi-Fi for vessels, cameras to monitor remote areas of the ocean for poachers or illegal fishing. And there is a lot of also military and naval application that you can imagine they're using as well. So it's a cool thing. I've been excited to learn more about.
That's fascinating. We have a lot of people that work on vessels. We crew vessels, and I know Wi-Fi is always a challenge.
Yeah.
So
I've talked to some of you maybe as candidates, and you told me I can't, talk until I get back.
Yeah,
the Wi-Fi is so bad. Yeah,
that's really exciting. Lisa, what else is exciting you about the space?
Just the companies that we get to work with. Startup company in particular that I'm working with right now. They actually utilize older technology, semi-submersible rigs. They take those rigs and they install wind turbines on them. So you see driving around, you'll see wind turbines that are on land or in shallow waters, but not necessarily in ultra deep water. So now with this technology and the product that they're selling, they're able to install them in ultra deep water. So it's really neat.
That's
really cool.
So cool. It fits right in with reduce, reuse, recycle.
Exactly.
Right? Reusing
Exactly.
That's fascinating because you really do. The president of Core Group Consulting, Dan Ramsey, he talked to me about this a while ago on a webinar, and he was explaining the the importance of being able to safely anchor those ships via satellites in those deep waters. What a great use of that technology. That's really exciting. So now moving from just what we're seeing as far as advancements into what we're seeing for job trends within renewables, what are you seeing as we head into 2020?
Yeah, well, you can see the graph that we've got. There's still more jobs in the Northeast and the East Coast than there are in the rest of the country. We think a lot of that's just because the early adopters were there. A lot of the offshore wind kind of is concentrated up in the Northeast. But we are seeing it spread down into the South and into the West part, West Coast of the U.S. And so we're seeing it all over, and we're seeing a lot of jobs in the renewable space. So Lisa was going to share with you about that.
Yeah, a lot of jobs. Tell me
A
more
lot of
about that.
jobs, yes. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. Last month, there were, just in new postings in the United States, there were 55,508 new jobs.
That's so many.
I know.
That's such a big number.
And even crazier, the median number of those jobs stay active is 12 days. So that's showing you that there's companies out there that when they find a candidate that they're interested in, they act fast.
Yeah,
And they snatch those people up.
is that faster than other industries? Because I feel like that, like 12 days sounds. If I were a company, that would be such a stressful number to me because that's so quick. Like I have projects that take more than 12 days.
Yeah.
It's not even a hiring of a person.
It's important to know that this is a candidate. It really is. In the oil and gas industry, we call it the great crew change. You've got all these baby boomers that are getting to retirement age and getting out of the industry, and there's not that new next generation that's going to come back to those shoes. So it's not just an oil and gas problem. It's not just renewables. It's a U.S. labor market issue. And there's an interesting read called The Demographic Drought that goes into it in a little bit more detail that I would highly recommend reading. But it's an issue here in the U.S. It is a candidate market. So when you find a good candidate, you need to.
Well, I'll just piggyback on that because that really aligns with what I'm experiencing on the candidate side of things. Like, I don't know how many times I can tell you that I'll talk to a candidate, a phenomenal candidate, we submit them into the company we're working with. And if that company takes 2 or 3 weeks to get back to me and say, hey, I want to interview this person, more often than not, if they're not already snatched up by another company, they probably have other companies who are now working with them, probably multiple offers. And so you'll end up in a situation where you're in a bidding war or you've already missed out if you wait a couple weeks. So hearing that 12 days, I mean, anecdotally, that sounds kind of familiar to what I'm experiencing on a daily basis.
Yeah. So then what do companies do? How do companies win in this space? Or what are the companies that are winning? What are they already doing?
That's a good question. Like I can say from my experience, like there do seem to be some similarities in these companies that are getting the good candidates, getting the elite talent. They have a streamlined hiring process. Typically, they know what they need to find out, how many conversations they need to have, who in their company needs to talk to somebody before they make an offer. And when they make those offers, they make strong offers. That's what we've seen. Like they're willing to offer good salaries, good benefits. A lot of times remote or hybrid is in play with the work as a benefit as well. And so that's what I'm seeing. And honestly, in the last quarter, I think I've had 5 of my companies I'm working with where we've had a candidate that they've made an offer to that have turned it down because of those issues of the salary, the benefits, the remote dynamic, and so they've often lost a candidate because they didn't come up to $5, $10, $15, $20,000 in that instance that the other company was offering, and so they missed out on this really good candidate.
You hate to see because it's not. I mean, one, you work really hard to find the right person and the right job and stick them together. Like that's the bread and butter of what we do. But it's also when you're looking ahead and you're like, okay, the long-term cost of them having this person, it might be a little higher than what they were planning on, but the long-term cost of them not having this person is so much more because of how long it's going to take them to maybe find the right person or find somebody even close to the right person to fit that role.
Yeah, I mean, like for some of those spots, like we still haven't been able to find another perfect fit like we had where they had made the offer, and so we're still searching and we're confident we'll find them. But you've got these potentially months now of gap where you don't have that person in place, aren't you onboard them, and in some cases for $5, $10, So that's kind of the thing for companies to count the cost of the future versus the now, and salary versus the cost of not having in there at all.
So let's pretend I'm a company and I have cleaned up my process. I have from point A to point B locked and loaded, from I want a candidate to I've got the candidate locked in. I have considered the cost and looked at the future and decided that maybe we have a cushion of this much if it means getting the right person. What else can I do to win?
Well, I mean, another thing I point to is just diversifying your perspective, like being willing to think outside the box, see people from different industries, how their skills can translate. I know Lisa has some thoughts on that we probably talk about a little bit later, but that's another thing that I've seen that sets companies apart.
Which fits really well into the renewable space, because renewables is all about thinking outside of the box, right? We are on the frontier of what exists and what will exist.
Right.
So it makes sense that you have to think outside of the box for people as well as the projects you're working on. Which goes ahead and transitions us into the candidate's point of view. So even though this is a candidate-driven market, not every candidate is getting the job they want. So what can candidates do to win?
Well, other than reaching out to Lisa and I,
Always a great starting
which
point.
is a great starting point.
Yes.
But one thing that we found is being willing to relocate can really open up your opportunities. So just like the companies that are willing to offer remote work tend to have access to better candidates or a larger pool of candidates. In the same way, a candidate that's willing to relocate doesn't just have access to their current city or whatever jobs are available there, but they can spread it out to whatever geographic region they're open to. And so it just makes sense. You're going to have more bites of the apple, the more cities you're open to working at.
Which makes sense, because when we looked back at that map, there were so many jobs heavy on the East Coast. So if you're not naturally located in the East Coast, that might be the best place for you to be for the job you want to have. What else? How can candidates win?
Well, you see a lot of, being in the Houston area, you see a lot of oil and gas candidates that are looking to move into the renewable space. They're tired of the ups and downs of the oil and gas industry.
Yeah.
So, a lot of those skills translate over into renewable energy. As for instance, I had a candidate that just recently got a project manager job, and he came from oil and gas. And the big key with the client was they need to have offshore construction experience. Well, that doesn't matter if you're in oil and gas or if you're in renewable energy, what industry you're in. Offshore construction is offshore construction. So those skills translate. So he's working now in running the renewables division for them. So it does happen, and it can happen. So
that's incredible. Let's actually take a look at those top skills that jobs are listing right now in the renewable space, because it's not just renewable specific, like you were saying. There's some cross functionality.
Oh yeah, I mean, a renewables company is a company, so it's a business that still need all those core operational people to run the business. They still need accountants. They still need, those type of positions. So if you're looking to make a move and you don't like your current situation and you want to make a move into the renewable industry, and now's the time to do it. And you don't have to have renewable experience on your resume.
No, you don't, especially because the pool's so small, right?
Exactly.
Not everybody can get somebody with renewables experience on their resume, but it's highlighting those skills that you see on the screen to say, do I have project management? What if I have construction in my background? What if I happen to be a techie with a passion for renewables? Which brings me right into the last question I have for candidates, which is, what kinds of backgrounds right now are you seeing be really successful in getting roles?
Engineers.
Tell me about it. Gosh, I feel like half of our jobs listed have the word engineer attached to them.
Yeah, I mean, engineers and project managers are the top ones that we're seeing right now.
So if I'm a project manager in oil and gas, then what do I do to become a project manager in renewables? Like, is there something, I'm assuming with any good move, there's a cost you have to pay, there's a price you have to pay. So what would I need to be willing to be open-handed with to set myself up well for that?
I think just one really practical thing is, are you showing on your resume how you think your skill set and background applies to a renewable industry? Like if you have that oil and gas offshore, show how your offshore oil and gas links to renewables in your resume, so that recruiters like us are going to have an easier time seeing that
Tell the
Um,
story for them.
Yeah, tell the story, and or maybe it's something in tech or sales or manufacturing, whatever it would be. Showing how that skill set can align with the renewables piece is really valuable. And if you need help with that, we have a resume writing service that we provide for group, and so we can help you get creative with your background and try to help.
Yeah,
the
I
resume
get to
pop.
work with the people that write those resumes, and they're so thoughtful with what they do. And what's great is they're the same team that writes all of the job descriptions. So they see exactly what a job description needs to hold, which means what are the qualifications that your resume needs to have. It's a great marrying of skills right there. I heard you say sales, and the other day we were talking about sales and engineering and renewables. And tell me
Yeah.
about that.
Well, I'll just say public service announcement. If you are an engineer who is a salesman, please email me after this, because I probably have multiple jobs that I can tell you in multiple cities around the country, wherever you want to go. The companies right now love where they have an engineer background who has a strong technical background who can go win bids and then oversee the project management of the bids that they win. And those candidates are invaluable. So if you do have that skill set, even if it's not a renewable, but you've got that skill set, it's very easy to craft and show how that can be a.
Yeah, what a great marrying of skills too. If you're a go-getter, that might be a great fit for you. So then if we're looking at top professions right now for roles hiring, we see kind of a mix. Yeah, about half of it is engineers, but it's not just engineers. It has this other component that you were talking about, project managers. So looking at these top skills, and then we're looking at what the market really needs right now. These are the top professions that we're seeing. We see project managers, energy engineers, and software engineers at the very top of the list. Is this what you're seeing right now for the jobs that you work?
Absolutely. We just had a placement. It was a neat story because this young lady that we've been working with really wanted to get into the renewable space, and we had one of our clients is a solar company. We had submitted her for a couple of different jobs because she did a really good job on her resume of really outlining her skills, and she just got a place in this place as an inside salesperson. And she's so excited. We're so happy for her.
That's
I love stories
incredible.
like that. Yeah.
That's incredible. I love that because it's not. Sometimes you don't get it the first try. You don't. And if you don't get it the first try and you end it there, then who knows what door could open next.
Well, and they loved her so much that they found a place for her. So it's neat when we have our clients that
They see
the
person.
value. Yes.
I love that. Which then I think leads right into this last piece of the jobs you are seeing right now. The hot jobs on your desk. Daniel, tell us a little bit about your hot jobs right now.
Yeah, so you can see the engineering trend continue with the jobs that we've got. You can see we have things up in the Northeast, in the New York area. We've got stuff happening in Texas as well as Florida and the Midwest. So there's a pretty good diverse number of jobs whether it's in kind of more the water resources space, whether it's in structural engineering or the geotechnical space, and as well as some sales jobs scattered throughout the industry. So I would love to talk to you. Anybody, if you see any of these jobs that you're intrigued by, or you just are wondering what else we might have, because this is not all that we have available. This is just kind of the most tip of the spear, hottest jobs we have available. And so I'd love to talk to you. Send me your resume, shoot me an email. I'd love to connect and hopefully change your life for the better, your career transition. So,
yeah, we're here to talk to you. If we're not talking to you, then we can't find you. We can't find the right thing for you. Which right now, I would love for you to talk to us. You're going to notice the option to chat with us. Go ahead, add in any questions you have. We're actively monitoring that chat, and we can reply it back to you because we want to know your thoughts. We want to know your questions. And if we don't have the answer right now in front of us, we'll make sure to reach back out to you and give you that answer. But a couple of you added your questions when you registered. Thank you so much for that. And so we wanted to take a moment to just answer 2 questions, which to start off from Troy, they ask, heavy industrial mining, aggregate cement, does Core Group work with these companies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've got like 5, 6 companies in my
Really?
Yes.
That's incredible.
and lots of them. And you mentioned mining. We definitely have, dozens of mining jobs, not just engineering, but across the spectrum, from accounting to warehouse workers, everything across the board in that mining space. So we'll talk to you if you're interested in that.
Yeah. Great question, Troy. Thank you. It sounds like you've come to the right place. We'd like to talk with you more. And then Richard asked, who is hiring in this space in the greater Chicago area?
Yeah, well, if you want to pop back to the hot jobs, you can see that there's a marine structural engineer opportunity. And so if you have a structural engineering background and have worked on marine projects, ocean or like offshore engineering, or like right on the border of the water and the land, those kind of projects, I would love to talk to you.
Yeah, that's exciting. Come on, reach out to us. And then my question for you, if you were going to leave with one last thing, we've talked about a lot. We started with 2023 advancements in the space, job trends, companies, candidates. We covered quite a bit of information. But if they were going to leave with one thing, we said, what would you want clients to leave thinking about?
The time is now. If you find a candidate, you need to act fast. We're here to support you in that way, in any way that we can, but time is of the essence for sure.
Yeah. If you don't have a good process in place, it's thinking through your process right now so that when you press the go button, you're ready to carry it all the way through. Absolutely. All right, Daniel, now on the candidate side. These are the people you spend every day talking to. So if they were going to leave thinking about one thing, what would you want them to be thinking about?
I think in a similar note, I mean, it is a candidate's market, so now is a great time to make a transition. If you're feeling that urge to see what's out there, we'd love to help you with that. And now's a great time to do it.
Now's a great time. See if the door's open. Test one door, test a second door. Reach out to us. We'll kick down a third door, try to get you in. Absolutely. And as our gift to you, you're going to notice that linked. We have an article on clean energy storage. This is on our website with additional links to where our resources are from for that. But that's a hot topic right now. It's a great thing to brush up on, especially if you're trying to transition into this renewable space, to just be a little more knowledgeable. Thank you so much for joining us today. Daniel and Lisa's information is going to be on the screen. If you would like to contact them, it's lisa@cgrteam.com and daniel.rieke@cgrteam.com. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.